Hey there, friends. Welcome back to Second Star to the Left. I'm Michelle, and this is my daughter, Billy.
Hi.
And here's where we'll share board game reviews, ramblings, and a few wrong turns along the scenic route. Back with one of our favorite kinds of video to do, and that is Small Space, where we talk about small box games that we love. We are going to talk about 4 small box games.
4.
3 are about
3.
animals. Stop. And 1 is maybe if we shoot one into space, it'll be about animals.
Like Laika.
What?
The Russian dog.
Was that his name?
What was her name?
I did not know that. See? These videos are educational. The first game we're going to talk about is Birds of a Feather.
Yeah! You wanted me to add something.
I asked her to be peppier. Birds of a Feather is an interesting variant on a set collection game.
That I kicked your butt at.
I don't know if kicked my butt is an accurate...
Kicked your butt.
In theory, bird watching is very relaxing. Not a lot with the butt kicking. My whole family, big bird watchers.
Yeah.
Huge.
This isn't a joke. This is actually true.
Me, sometimes I remember to feed them and then I go, ooh, look, a bird.
That one's kind of gray.
I mean, I know your basics, your cardinals, your chickadees, your sparrows. I know those. But if you wanted to learn about birds, they're all in here. Ooh, including a greater roadrunner. Meep, meep. Instead of just being a game where you're drawing up cards and trying to collect sets, you never, ever have the opportunity to draw a card in this game.
Mm-hmm.
The hand you start with is the hand that you have to use through the whole game. So you need to strategically choose which birds you're going to lay out at what time. And how it works is we each secretly place down the habitat and bird.
No, it's just a one card.
It's one card.
Don't say
but
and.
See, this is this.
See, the teach was a little clunky, and I don't think it was the game's fault. I think it was maybe a problem outside of the game.
So, but definitely not me.
No, definitely not. The teacher.
You're going to pick one card to place face down in front of you. That card contains a lot of information. It contains the habitat that the bird lives in, an absolutely gorgeous picture of the bird.
The art is beautiful.
A symbol for how rare the bird is, including how many times it appears in the deck. At the same time, you're going to reveal what habitat you're bird watching in. And if it's the same habitat, then we see the same birds.
Okay, but that's on the one card you put down.
Yes.
It's not a separate act that you do.
No, you just you flip your card. The teach wasn't clunky.
You flip a card that has a bird and a habitat on it.
You flip over the card.
If your card matches the habitat.
I just said all that information was on the card.
I said it much shorter.
You flip over the card with all that information on it. And if we're in the same habitat, then we get to see the birds that are there. Also, you're going to, in a 2-player game, turn 2 over from the deck. And if any of those birds are in the habitat where you're hanging out, then you get to spot those birds as well. Those birds that arrived this hand become lingering birds, and then you repeat this process. You can still spot birds that are lingering in the areas, but you may have to choose a new habitat depending on what birds are hanging out. Oh, and then there's raptors. If they show up, they scare all the little birds out of the habitat, and you don't get to score them. That's why, even though it seems like it would be a very nice, sweet little game about collecting birds, it can be kind of mean. I'm not saying that I played a raptor card just to scare away all the birds that Billy wanted.
And then failed because I didn't want those birds. And also I needed the raptor, so I got the points for it.
It was a strategy.
Was it?
It was.
Was it?
There's also an app for this game that lets you score it and or play it solo. I used it once or twice. I much prefer it just being a card game. And I love the solo variant of this card game. It's beautiful. It's quick. Again, even in the solo variant, you're not ever drawing up a card. So you have to look at those cards in your hand and pretty much try to decide how the whole game will play out. In the end, it's a 20-minute game and the teach goes fairly quickly.
Or it should. The rule book is like 2 pages long. It's really it's a really simple, straightforward game. And with a regular teacher, it will go very smoothly.
Okay, you learn the next one.
Is it 2 pages long? Because okay then.
It's more than 2 pages. Anyway, that one was Birds of a Feather, and this one will stick around in the collection because I think that my family will love playing the birdwatching game.
Absolutely. It's Western North America, so I wonder if they're going to be more.
Oh, maybe. Then we could get Eastern North America.
I don't know if they're going to go that close to where they started, but I would really love to get, like, the birds near us. That would be fun.
Well, we have a lot of these, though. The common ones.
Some of them.
We don't have Roadrunners. The next game on our list is also about birds. This one is one of our Kickstarters.
These ones are much easier to spot. They don't go anywhere.
Look, there's a chicken. I'm good at bird watching these. This one is called Hens, and this one is kind of a card placement game. You're building out a grid or a pen to put your hens in. A 3x4 grid of cards on your table. The thing that I found the most puzzly about this one is you're trying to make groups of a certain color, but every time you lay a bird down, it either has to match colors orthogonally with both rows and columns, or it has to be plus or minus 1 away from any card that it doesn't share a color with. Which is easy in the beginning. I saw Billy's face when she started building out her pen, and she thought, this is going to be easy. No strategy here. I can do it. Because you're placing 12 cards, there are 12 rounds, and on the 6th round, you get to put a rooster into the pen, and you place that on the color that you think will be the second highest scoring group. Because you're always going to score the highest group. If you're right, if you guess that the rooster will be on the second highest group, then you get to score them as well. Plus, there's bonus for good egg layers and for award-winning chickens and a few other end game conditions. If you can't put a card down, you have to flip it over to the other side, so it's just a picture of the barn or the coop. And then you don't score any points for that.
I did not have to do that. You said you did, though.
So when I was playing solo, I never got through a game without having to flip at least one over. When I was playing with you, I had a little more strategy, a little more ability to mix things up, because when it was solo, it's a lot like a regular solitaire game where you're just kind of restricted to the cards that you get. I'm sure that I made mistakes too.
Were you waiting for me to correct you?
No, we're not just not going to admit to those. The art on these cards, it's beautiful. And except for the predator chicken, which we did mention before. I think
still very well rendered, but it's scary.
Scary chicken. In a 2-player game, you don't use all the breeds, so you can swap out which breeds you're using to change up the game a little bit. This one also plays in about 20 minutes. This one is a great little solitaire game too, which makes 2 new solitaire games for me, but Billy liked playing them both as well, so I might have to play solitaire all the time.
Yay.
Which bird game did you prefer?
Honestly, I'm not sure I could say, because they're pretty different mechanically, and I think I liked them.
Yeah, I think we're going to keep both of them because they are very different games. The third game we're going to talk about doesn't have anything to do with birds.
It's the first one that Dad saw and went, look, we have to buy that.
Yes, I will say this is the first time that we were ever watching board game content, and my husband said, that looks great, we should order it, which I was already halfway through doing by the time he said that. But he did say it, and then we taught it to him, and he played it, and that is Spots, the most adorable little dog push your luck gambling game with dice.
It's so good. And the dice have all those little, like, spots are all uneven, like real dog spots, and they're really cute.
They are.
They're cute dice.
And the dog drawings are absolutely adorable.
I love them so much.
It did take a round or two for us to realize that there was strategy and not just luck.
Yes.
So you're rolling dice, and if the pips on the dice match, you can fill up your spotted dogs with those dice. That's one of the turns you can take. There are cards for, like, take a walk or go for a run or howl, and they each have a different action associated with them. Once that action has been selected in that round, no other player can use it. So you can try and block somebody from doing something or take the action before they can. After all the actions but one have been taken, you put a little dog bone on the one that hasn't been taken, flip them all over, and they're all available again. That dog bone, super important, because those dog bones mean you can re-roll the dice that you rolled. Not 1 or 2. All of the dice. You can't just... It's not like Yahtzee where you could set one aside and roll the rest. You have to decide to re-roll your entire roll. Very useful, because it is a push your luck game. And if you can't place the dice on your dog, you have to put those dice in your yard. And if the pips in your yard ever add up to more than 7, then you bust and you lose all the dice from your yard plus all the dice that were on your dogs. Now, for your action, you can either choose one of those cards that lets you roll your dice and fill in the dog, or score a dog. If you have 3 or 4 dogs and you fill them all in one turn, you get to just score them and not have to use an action.
3 or 4 dogs?
Well, however many. We don't think we ever got more than 4 in our...
I think Dad had like 6 at one point.
There's a limit.
6 is the upper limit.
So 6 is as many dogs as you can have.
If you fill all of the dogs that you currently have.
Yeah, so if all the dogs have all of their spots filled, on one turn you can score them all at once without using a separate action. Good luck doing that. But if you bust, all of those will get wiped out.
Mm-hmm.
So those dog bones come in really, really handy if you don't want to put those dice into the yard. This game took about a half an hour to play. It was really simple to learn, and it really is just kind of a dice rolling, gambling, press your luck game. That's adorable. I will definitely keep this one, especially since Jim asked us to pick it up. Last game on the list doesn't have any animals in it, and that one is Distant Suns. Now, I wish that we would have had this one when we were doing Rolling into the New Year, because this one is a roll and write.
And it was the New Year.
And it's the New Year. But
no, it's not anymore.
This one, this one is a roll and write, and it has... it's not really polyominoes, right? Because they're all made out of hexes.
I guess.
It has little shapes made out of hexes that you're going to draw as you travel by map across the sheet. Traveling by map is probably one of Billy's favorite mechanisms,
really
even though it's not technically a mechanism.
I know, but it's just very fun for my brain. Just thematically, it clicks. I like it.
There are 6 shapes, 5 of which are randomized from a set of 10, and 1 is a black hole that's available all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And then there are 5 scoring conditions along the edges. Then there are 5 scoring conditions along the side that tell you which shapes you want by each of those scoring conditions. For example, maybe you want the little V shape to be by the aliens, to cover up an alien. Billy says we're not stomping on the aliens, we're talking with the aliens.
You're making like first contact. This is not a violent game. This is an exploration game.
You do your map. I'll do mine. Friendly aliens. They're friendly aliens. Or maybe you'll be the first to get all the way across the map to the corners to visit Distant Suns.
Those are planets.
We disagree because it says Distant Suns.
I feel like the suns are implied, like across the whole map.
No, those are the suns. Or you can get upgrades, or you can surround treasures. There are lots of different scoring conditions. When it's your turn, you choose a little marker that you slide up against the board in the middle that shows which shape you are going to choose, but also which shape everyone else is going to choose. So you can force people to draw shapes they don't want to, and you can try to choose exactly what you need when you need it.
See what I'm saying about the teach?
There are 5 of these, so when they run out, that's the end of the round. That means you've each drawn 5 shapes. There are 3 rounds in the game, and when it's over, you add up your points based on those winning conditions. I really, really, really enjoyed this one.
This was a lot of fun.
There is not, sadly, a solo mode for this game. However, I did find a way to play it with a D6 and some imagination, just so that I could learn it and then teach it to Billy, which was a good teach, by the way.
For this one, you know what? It was. You taught this one well.
Thank you. This one is definitely staying in the collection. I really, really enjoyed this one. Mm-hmm. This one probably would have snuck up onto my top 10 for roll and writes.
If we had had it in time.
If we had had it in time, because I think this one's going to get a lot of plays.
I think we learned about this from Jeff and Jamie.
We did hear about this from them. We saw them playing it in a little video. You should definitely check them out at Foster the Meatball on YouTube and on Twitch and on Instagram and everywhere else if you're not already following them, which you should be.
You really should. They're awesome. And they're awesome people.
They are. Those are our 4 newest small space games, which we have actually been getting a lot of plays in. Seems like small games are what's working best for us right now, but that doesn't really bother me because I love them.
They're pretty.
So we have those, plus we've been playing through the Unmatched tournament, which did not end in 5.
Yeah, it's going to end in 6.
No, it's not. That's coming soon. It's not over till it's over. That's all I'm going to say.
So it's not over till the end of the next match when then it's over.
It's not over till it's over.
Okay.
Thank you for watching. If you like what you see,
Or if you'd like to keep watching until we get one right.
then please like, subscribe, and share. As always, open tables, open minds, and play yourselves.
Bye!
I'm gonna put that in.
4 games.
I'm gonna put it in. Don't make me stressed.
Birds of a feather, hens, spots, distant suns. Games, they are small. Good. We're done. She died before she came back to Earth.
I know we're not putting that in. You ready? Your disc.
But the psychic dog from Guardians of the Galaxy is inspired by her.
The next game on our list is also about birds, but, you know, the edible kind.
All birds are edible, Mom.
I know, but those are too much work, those little birds. Well, those little bones.
You're a bad person. Pretty sure.
Okay. Well, that's not a good thing.
Do people play light after dinner games? Is that a phrase?
Yes, it's a phrase. It's a good one.
Have you ever heard that before, viewers at home?
I'm gonna cut this and viewers are gonna You didn't mock me.
It's my whole job.
Notches, not nachos. No nachos.
I'm hungry.
So...